All right. So we are recording, and I just want to let everyone know that if you are on Zoom on a computer, you do have at the bottom of your screen the ability to see closed captions. So you can, it's a little something that you yourself can highlight if that is what you choose to do. Thank you. Go ahead, Deputy Attorney and Chairman.
All right, Chair, we can open the meeting.
All right, thank you, Attorney Bungert. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Protection and Policy meeting for Monday, January 25th. We will take a roll call. Alder Stoyer, I am here. Alder Vanderleest.
Here.
Alder Lefebvre.
Here.
Alder Stevens.
Here.
Okay, all present and accounted for.
On to approval of the agenda.
Okay, do we have a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
So
Second.
moved by Lefebvre, seconded by Stevens. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye, all opposed. That passes unanimously.
All right, on to approval of the minutes.
Okay, a motion to
Motion to
approve the
approve.
minutes. Motion by Stevens. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Vanderleest. Any other discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye, all opposed. That passes unanimously.
All right, and on to regular business, item number 1.
Okay, number 1, consideration with possible action on an application for a Class B combination license by Rogelio Perez Jr. at 2475 University with a licensed premises description as seating table, small bar area, currently licensed as Z Harvest Cafe LLC. Staff.
Law Department has no objections.
Police.
Please concur with law.
Okay, do we have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Motion, Alder Lefebvre, did you have a question?
Yes, I had a question for Attorney Bungert.
Yeah.
Did Z Harvest have the license before?
Yes, so it's currently licensed as Z Harvest, which is why this isn't an available Class B, but a surrender and then an application for a new applicant.
Yeah,
So it's currently licensed. Mhm.
Yeah, and I'm kind of sorry that Z Harvest has changed hands in a way, so I'll have to see because I liked going to Z Harvest when it was proper to go.
Sure.
Okay, do we have a motion?
I think we have a motion by Alder Stevens. We
Alder
just need a second.
Stevens, do we have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Vanderleest. Any other discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye. All opposed? That passes unanimously.
Item number 2.
Number 2, consideration with possible action on an application for a Class A liquor and a Class A beer license by Family Dollar Stores of Wisconsin LLC at 514 West Walnut with a licensed premises description as standalone building approximately 11,621 square feet. Staff,
Law Department has no objections.
police.
Please concur with law, but don't forget to remind them that it's got to go through full council as well.
Right, I noticed, Attorney Bungert, that there are 24 stores in the state right now. Dollar stores, 2 of them in Green Bay. There's one on Lime Kiln Avenue, and that's not up at this time, I presume.
No, this is only for the location on Walnut Street.
Okay, so like you said,
Each
you have no
location has to
issues,
have its own separate.
right?
Yes, we have no issues.
You have no issues, and the police, no issues as well, correct?
Correct. We don't
Correct.
have any issues. Our community police actually met with them a couple times and went over their business plan quite extensively and are okay with it.
Okay.
Mr.
Alder
Chairman,
Lefebvre? Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
I think that, yeah, I think we probably can't deny it because it's, they already had one, right? They already have a license? Is that my understanding or is this new?
That's my understanding. Attorney Bungert? Well,
Yeah, I believe this location has been licensed.
right.
Yeah, I do have, I have a question on that. Well, not a question, but a concern is that it's very close to a school. It's not that far. And I think there
Right,
are people in the neighborhood that were, upset with when the gas station was allowed to have, their license for some of the liquor or beer. And I just have a concern that it's close to a school, but I guess we can't, because it already has a license, that we have to approve it.
Well, I was going to ask Lieutenant Mahoney, have we had any issues at all with this establishment over time?
No, we have not had any issues. I know right across the street, the Quick Trip, I believe, has their liquor license as well.
Yeah.
But no issues there. Occasionally shoplifting, and that's what our community police went over with them to help solidify their business plan, giving them ideas on how to deter retail theft and shoplifting out of there, especially with the alcohol.
Mhm.
Okay.
I think this is something that we gotta consider when we do some of these licenses, how close they are to a school, and also that there's two places right across from the street from each other that are selling the alcohol. And as you know,
Actually-
alcohol is a big issue in our community. So
Alder LaFave, I haven't seen it for a while, but I knew at one time there was a map out there that had a list of the Class A beer and Class A liquor.
Right. Mhm.
And a Class B as well. And I'm wondering, Attorney Bungert, that might be something that the committee would like to see in the future, as
Okay.
well as the council.
I think that was-
No, go ahead.
Yes, I believe that was provided earlier in 2020.
Okay.
I think it was actually per a communication request from Alder LaFave, and that map was provided. And it was then therefore provided also to council as part of the report from Protection and Policy.
Right. Well, if you just make a note of that, I mean, we can go back over our records, but if that might be something that, we haven't done it for over a year. So it'd be nice to at least have a copy of that again, if that's possible. If you could do
Sure.
that. Okay.
We can do that.
All right,
As far
thank
as the school ordinance that prohibits an establishment from being a Class A establishment from being within 300 feet of a school. So that is something that's reviewed by the clerk's office and by inspection before being cleared to proceed to committee. If it is something that's within 300 feet, staff alerts law department as to that issue. And then we always alert the committee because then it requires a waiver vote in order to waive that requirement. So I don't have anything in my notes from the clerk's office or from
Okay.
inspections indicating that this location's within that 300 feet. So that's why there wasn't an issue from our perspective. Otherwise, we would consistently alert the committee if that was an issue.
Okay. I guess
Fair
one other
enough.
question. Oh,
I'll second the motion.
okay, I just had one other question. As far as the school that used to be there, wasn't that Jefferson School that was over in that area? And maybe Alder Dorf could answer that. I think there was a school there, and I don't know if that,
I'm not
Is-
exactly sure where this is on Washington. Can somebody
it's
give
on
me?
Walnut.
No,
It's
no.
on Walnut.
Oh, it's
Right
in
near the-
Walnut? Fort Howard?
Yes.
Isn't it Fort Howard that's right there?
Well, it used to be, the Fort Howard School. Well, the Fort Howard School is still there. I was thinking of former Jefferson School. Maybe I'm
That's
wrong
not
on
on
that.
Walnut.
That's on Dousman.
There's
Yeah.
no school anywhere near it.
I didn't think
Okay.
there was, actually. I didn't think there was
There's
a
not.
school
I would
anywhere
just-
near it. But,
All right,
okay.
I was just checking. All right, that's good. I'm good. All right, we have a second by Stevens. Any other discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
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 All opposed? That passes
Alder?
unanimously. Yes, who
Yes,
made the motion?
who-
Vanderleest?
I'm not sure who made the motion.
Vanderleest?
I know-
Alder
I had-
Vanderleest made the motion.
Okay,
Okay.
Vanderleest and seconded by
second.
Stevens.
Thank you.
All
Okay,
right,
all right,
Thank
thank you.
all right.
1 second. All right, item number 3.
Number 3, consideration with possible action on an application for a Class B combination by NW Spirits LLC at 209 North Washington Street with a licensed premise description as store and coolers behind bar and in storage room on premises. Currently licensed as Every Time I Dine LLC. Staff,
Law department has no objection.
please.
Please concur with law.
Okay. Committee, do you have any concerns? If not, I'd entertain a motion.
Motion to
Motion to
approve.
approve.
Motion by Vanderleest. Do we have a second? Second by Stevens. Any other discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye. All opposed? That passes unanimously.
All right, item number 4.
Number 4, for discussion with possible action on a draft resolution written by Alderman Jesse Brunette titled Resolution in Support of Green Bay Area Public School District Students, Parents, Teachers, and Employees, and urging the school board and administration to transition quickly but safely toward an in-person option for all students. Before I turn this over, I just, this is going to be, this is an emotional issue for both sides, and I would entertain that civility is utilized here. We respect each other's opinions, and I'll defer to Celestine Jeffries on this to make sure that you take care of the clock on this as well. But before we do that, I'll open this up to Alder Burnett. If you could just describe briefly what your resolution is, and we will hear from both sides.
Yes, thank you, Chairman Stoyer. Oftentimes, City of Green Bay government passes resolutions. Resolutions are typically non-binding when we advise or give opinion to another government or elected official to act in a manner that is in the best interest of City of Green Bay residents. This happens quite a bit. We pass them quite regularly, in fact. So the reason this issue came to my attention was some of the parents and teachers in the community, as well as students, reaching out to me, and as well as a number of other council members, in frustration that City of Green Bay Schools does not have at this point a safe in-person option for many, if not all, students. So I thought, after watching the school board for the last few months and attending a public rally of a group of citizen members who wanted to encourage the Green Bay School District to opt for an in-person option for their students, I thought it would be appropriate to bring this resolution forward for consideration by your City of Green Bay government. Before I read the resolution that I drafted for consideration, Chairman Stoyer, I'd like to ask Attorney Bungert if by reading the resolution here, then it will be entered into the record and that the committee could vote on it tonight.
Yes, that's fine. It's in keeping with past practice where sometimes we are able to get a draft together for committee's consideration prior to the item actually being referred or approved. So if, and I understand that with the timing of it wasn't included in the packet, but it was sent out to the committee to review. And if Alder Burnett does read it into the minutes, then the committee can be discussed and amended or approved, and then forwarded on to council.
Yeah,
A point of order. Excuse me, I have a point of order to ask Attorney Bungert. So Attorney Bungert, if Alder Burnett or when Alder Burnett reads the resolution, the people that are on this meeting right now will have access to this resolution. It was not properly posted. So that means that there are many people who would have had no ability to see the resolution, who would not even perhaps be coming to the meeting tonight to speak on it, because the resolution was not properly posted. And I'm asking if that is legal or fair, or if that's the way we do business, that we allow something to be talked about. And there are people on this call that I know and sincerely like a lot, but is it fair to the people that did not even get to see the resolution, that don't even know it's going to be read into the record?
Sure, Alder. I can speak to what the legal requirements are for open meetings law. And open meetings requires that notice be posted no less than 24 hours as to the items and topics, as specific as possible, posted with respect to what the governing body or committee thereof is going to be discussing. That was accomplished by way of publishing the agenda on Friday, with Alder Brunett's communication indicating exactly what the resolution was going to be discussing. It does not need to go into so much detail as to basically divulging what the contents of the resolution are. However, it needs to be enough to be able to apprise the public as to what the discussion is going to be. And that was satisfied with the communication that was placed on the agenda. I do want to just kind of refer to how we do. So basically, the text of the resolution didn't need to be part of the packet. What is sufficient from an open meeting standard and practice is that the agenda item is clearly defined, which is what happened here. We do on occasion, like I said, sometimes staff is able to prepare when there's a late communication from a council member or requesting a resolution or requesting a draft to an ordinance that is of timely nature and needs to get in front of council as soon as possible. Staff makes an effort when it can to prepare that draft, and sometimes that draft isn't ready and committee meets that afternoon or that evening. So we have done that in the past where the agenda item simply refers to amending an ordinance or passing or adopting a resolution, and then the actual content of that draft, whether it be ordinance or resolution, is discussed in detail at committee. And then the committee is able to either approve the draft as presented by staff, or in this case, as presented by Alder Brunette, or make amendments on the floor to the draft, and then those changes can be made so that to be included in the Protection and Policies report to council.
Thank you for that clarification. I just wanted to make sure what
You're
we
very
were being
welcome.
legal.
So,
Absolutely.
Chairman Steuer, may I
yes,
have
go
the floor
ahead.
back? Yeah,
Go
and
ahead.
thank you for that, Attorney Bungart and Alder Dorf, for your question. As you all know, for many of you who know me, process and the way I move forward with these things is very important to me. So I did communicate with the city clerk, deputy clerk, as well as the law office on making sure that I did this the right way. The reason why it was not published on Friday by 5:30 was that I wanted to get it right. I wanted to word it in a way that was not political, that was not shaming of the school board, that was not dictating to them the specific things that they need to do, but rather what I believe the outcome should be. And so I wanted to make that clear. So I personally worded the resolution, which I will read shortly. About 10:30 on Friday evening, I did email it individually to each of the council members on this committee, not as a whole, but individually. And Alder Lefebvre, I believe you said you did not get it. I did send it to the District 6 email account, but for some reason, some of your emails, you may want to look into that. So for the sake of the committee now, keep in mind you all have received this, and I believe the clerk did send this out to the full city council earlier today. So each council member has it. For members of the public who do not have it, please accept my apologies. By no way did I intend to keep anyone in the dark. It's just the way that this happened. And so I'd be happy to share it with anyone after this meeting, after I read it. So please feel free to reach out to me. Nothing to hide, no secrets. I drafted this my own. I did not consult with the Open Schools group. I did not consult with any specific special interest group. These are my words, and hopefully the committee finds them acceptable. So having said that, Mr. Chairman, my resolution
Go ahead.
is titled Resolution in Support, pardon me for one moment, I'm going to. Okay, so it's resolution in support of Green Bay Area Public School District students, parents, teachers, and employees in urging the school board and administration to transition quickly but safely toward an in-person option for all students. Date is unknown at the point of time by the Common Council of the City of Green Bay. Whereas COVID-19 has required all levels of government to implement sensible policies and procedures to confront the public health crisis while still providing quality public services for the betterment of all people. Whereas the Green Bay Area Public School District serves students in the City of Green Bay, Village of Alloway, Village of Bellevue, Town of Scott, parts of Ledgeview, Eaton, and Humboldt. Whereas the Green Bay Area Public School District includes 4 high schools, 2 charter schools, 4 middle schools, 3 K-8 schools, 24 elementary schools, 1 alternative school, and 3 early childhood schools. Whereas the Green Bay Area Public School District is responsible for teaching over 20,000 students, including 14.8% with disabilities, 64.5% economically disadvantaged, and 21.1% English learners. Whereas the Green Bay Area Public School District employs over 3,500 people. Whereas the demographic makeup of the student body of the Green Bay Area Public School District is 43.1% white, 29.7% Hispanic, 9.1% Black, 7.5% Asian, 3.6% American Indian, less than 1% Pacific Islander, and 6.9% with two or more of the preceding. Whereas the stated mission of the Green Bay Area Public School District is, quote, "We educate all students to be college, career, and community ready, inspired to succeed in our diverse world." Whereas many parents, students, and teachers of the Green Bay Area Public School District believe the school district is failing to fully meet their stated mission. Whereas current situations created by a lack of safe in-person instruction option is directly and negatively impacting the quality of life of Green Bay residents, many of whom are our most vulnerable. Whereas many students with various vulnerabilities are falling behind their peers in other Green Bay area school districts and independent private schools. Whereas these current inequitable conditions will be exasperated in future years, creating a substantial achievement gap for many Green Bay children as compared to their peers. Be it resolved that the City of Green Bay is in support of Green Bay Area Public School District students, parents, teachers, and employees, and urges the Green Bay Area Public School District Board and administration to transition quickly but safely toward an in-person option for all students. I would encourage the chairman, unless you have questions for me as a committee, to open the floor to hear from interested individuals.
Thank you, Alder Burnett. We will do that. Before we do that, though, I'd like to have a couple inputs from the committee. Alder Scannell, I do see you.
Okay.
Committee, do you have any specific questions off the bat before we open the floor and we hear from other alders?
Before we open the floor, I think I'd like to listen to the other alders first.
That's fine. All right, Alder Scannell.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm a little confused on the resolved of the resolution. From everything I've been able to understand, the Green Bay School Administration and the school board wants to go to in-person schooling as quickly and safely as possible. I don't think there's a policy difference here. There's a difference in what that means operationally, and I think Alder Burnett was very wise in not to including a language for that, because we should not be dictating to another governing body how to operate. So as a policy issue, I don't see where the difference is. I mean, when we've done resolutions in the past, they were about issues where there was division, where, like the dark stores. There were politicians at the state level that supported the dark stores being able to do what they were doing. So we wanted to support those state legislators who opposed the dark stores, so there was a divide to take it aside on, and it directly related to city business. These are crazy times, so I guess I'm open to other kinds of resolutions going forward in these difficult times, but I just don't see how this resolution does anything that the Green Bay School Board and administration isn't pursuing as a policy. So
would you want Alder Burnett to answer that? Alder Burnett?
Certainly.
Alder Burnett?
Sure. Thank you for those comments, Alder Scannell. If that's what you believe, then your vote or support of the resolution is almost ensured. If you think that it's not going to create any difference from what the school board has indicated, then I think by voting yes when it gets to the council, if it gets that far, then you basically are saying to the school board, we have your back and we approve of what you're attempting to do. If you believe that their objectives are the same as what the resolution calls for, then to me, that seems to be a simple vote yes.
Well, I don't understand the purpose then. What's the purpose then? Because
Purpose.
I understand it from, they disagree with what the school board is doing, but that disagreement is an operational one, and I don't feel it's appropriate for the city to get
Right.
involved in that. So what is it we're doing? I don't understand if we're just support. I mean, no one from the school board, as far as I know, or the school asked us for assistance to, that they need help or want our support in any way. I'm not understand what the purpose of the resolution is.
Alder
From what
Scannell?
I'm hearing from parents, what their concerns are, which, as far as I can tell, everybody's goal is the same. The policy is the same, but how to get there, there are divisions. That they should take up
Alder
with.
Scannell?
Yep.
Alder Burnett, before you, I just wanted to interject. We on council, each of the council members has gotten numerous emails from citizens, mostly saying they want to reopen the schools, et cetera, like we all do. And you might say it's an operational thing, but we're answering to our citizens. We represent the citizens that in our districts, and we need to listen to them. That's all. So all the
Actually, I have a comment to that, Alder Sawyer.
All right.
I've been thinking a lot about this job lately.
Have you?
And when we went through the fluoride issue, I brought this up. We have a job description. We have a job to do. And it's inappropriate to put unreasonable expectations on us. Yes, people should come to us if they have a problem, and we should redirect them to the appropriate place if it's not our business. We have enough to do on our plate. I don't think it's appropriate for us to take on more than what we should be doing. This is, the school board is a duly elected board. It's a local board. Everybody has access to it. With an operational issue, if it was a policy issue, I could see some wiggle room here. But with an operational issue, I feel it's totally inappropriate for us to take this up. So I don't know, again, that's why I'm trying to figure out, just what are we trying to do here? I don't think we should be taking on business that's not our business. If anything, this sounds more like a county issue with a health issue. I mean, at one time, the city had a board of health, but we've given that over to the county. I mean, I just don't see how this relates to our city business, our job, unless it's a policy issue, and I see no policy difference. I don't know why we're taking this up. That's what I'm trying to figure out.
This isn't a binding resolution,
It's still a resolution that we're taking our time with here with staff. We're taking our staff time, we're taking our time, and we're putting an I'm not just thinking about us, I'm thinking about future alders. Is this a reasonable expectation that citizens come to us and expect us because they're frustrated with another government body, which I understand, and I appreciate that. But with an operational issue, it's just not our business. And I don't think we should be taking it up. That's just not right. It's
All
like
right.
going,
Okay.
there's two doctors. There's a plastic surgeon and a heart doctor. You need to go to the heart doctor, but you're going to the plastic surgeon. It's not the right place. We should be saying, no, you need to go over here.
All right.
That's our job.
Okay, Alder Scannell, thank you. Alder Burnett?
Yeah, I just, thank you. And I appreciate the give and take of council members. I don't want to make it about us. Really, it's about the people in this community, the children specifically, and the parents specifically, and the teachers specifically. We have an issue. We need to is the quality of life for people within the city of Green Bay. You could get pretty deep down the rabbit hole if we allow ourselves to get there. All I did was bring forward something that does in fact affect the quality of life. What I'm suggesting isn't at all unusual or extraordinary. I've listened to a lot of people through the last several months at our school board meetings to suggest that the school board does want this. I find that hard to believe because they're not open to all their scandal. The schools are not open to in-person instruction where other school districts around us are, Catholic schools are, Lutheran schools are. It's going children in this city who we serve and represent on the Green Bay City Council in a very unfair and inequitable situation today and in the future. There's anxiety, there's depression, there's frustration. There are parents that cannot go to work because they have to stay home to educate their children through the Zoom system. There is a lot. So I don't want to make it about us and this back and forth between council members. You all can have your opinions. You all have to, represent your constituents the way that you would want them to be represented. I sleep very good at night knowing that I brought this forward. I think it's very appropriate. And I really want to hear from the community, because I think when the community speaks to this, you're going to perhaps hear a perspective that you probably haven't heard yet. So I don't mean to be mandatory, or I don't mean to put people on the spot, but come on, we pass these resolutions all the time.
We had a.
Alder Scannell, please.
One last thing, okay?
And then we're going to open the floor. I'd like to open the
If
floor.
that's what you want to do.
Then Alder Dorf.
Okay.
Go ahead, Alder Scannell. Last time, please.
Yep. Again, I can't stress enough. I've heard from the people out in this community. I know what and this pandemic has been horrible. It's been horrible. 400,000 people have died, and we expect many more to die before we get through this. People who've had this are still, many people are still being debilitated by having caught this disease. Our economy is a mess. Our schooling is a mess. Yes, all those things are true, but it's not our job to make operational decisions for a different governing body. The policy, everybody wants to get through this. Everybody wants to see everybody get back to school. I don't know anybody, I've never heard anyone say that they think it's not going back to school is a great idea. It's a horrible idea. But what are you going to do in the middle of a pandemic? And to compare the Green Bay schools, the third largest district in the state, to a village or a Catholic school, it's just you're comparing apples to oranges.
Chicago is going back.
The logistics of a school this size are different, and I trust the people who are elected and who are hired to work that, know their operation better than we do.
All right. We need to move on a little bit. Alder Dorf, I'm going to let you, if you want to chime in, or I'd just as soon have a motion to open the floor.
I yield to Alder Galvin and Alder Gerlach. They had their hands up before I did.
All right.
After
Alder Gerlach.
Yes, I do have to agree with Alder Scannell. I absolutely cannot support this, and I don't want Alder Brunette to take this personally, because I do think that it's coming from his heart, but I think it's very ill-advised. We are not ever in a position to advise or give opinion, and that's exactly Alder Brunette's words, to the school board. Yes, all the children all over the country are seriously impacted by this in a negative way. Yes, we all want the schools to be open, but it's not our place, just as it would not be the place of the school board to start to include in their agenda something about fat tire biking at Hinestra Park. We just spent a lot of time on that. But what if they invited the public to come and talk about fat tire biking at Hinestra Park? And then they passed a resolution telling us we ought to safely and quickly end or continue or whatever, fat tire biking. It just doesn't work. And I have some real concerns also about the content of this resolution, which I cannot have my name attached to this. I don't know these things to be true. It says here, and I'm trying to read now from on my screen, it says that it is negatively impacting the quality of life of Green Bay residents, many of whom are our most vulnerable. I don't know where the data is to support that. I don't know where the data is to say that our students with various vulnerabilities are falling behind their peers in other Green Bay area school districts and independent private schools. I think that's a guess. There's nothing to support that. And to say that current equitable conditions will be exacerbated in future years. Hey, it's going to happen to all the kids in the United States. I'm sorry. I have 2 grandsons who are missing their entire senior year this year, and I feel really bad about it. But that's the way it is. I think that for us to suggest that we as a council have a better idea of what it means to do this quickly and safely is arrogant and unacceptable. And I think for us to invite the public to tell us how they feel about what the school system should do is inappropriate. We should not be listening to that. We should not be passing judgment on that. And I simply cannot support this resolution.
All right, thank you, Alder Gerlach. Alder Galvin?
Thank you, Chair. I was trying to write down some notes with Alder Burnett's little preamble that he started with. And there were three things he said that this was not supposed to be. It wasn't supposed to be political. It wasn't supposed to be shaming. I didn't catch what the third thing was not supposed to be. And I don't know if he remembers what it was, or if he does, if he could tell me what it was.
I don't remember offhand.
No, I don't.
And then I think after those three things, I thought maybe it was not supposed to be pressuring them. I can't remember. But then you said what it is supposed to be is and I'm paraphrasing this, but this resolution should be something that outcome to be for this issue. And I'm going to ask the chair a question here. Chair, you sat through fluoride, did you not?
Yeah.
How many hours
Quite a
was
few.
that?
A lot.
How many hours of testimony was that at the committee level?
I'd say about 12 to 13.
12 to
Maybe.
13 hours. And then
Overtime.
And then we didn't open the floor at council,
No.
but that still took a good hour of just us discussing it back and forth. How would you feel if the fluoride people went to the school board about fluoride? Would you think that would be appropriate for them to take up the time of the school board members and have them sit through 12 to 13 hours of testimony about fluoride so that they could send us a resolution telling us how they think we should act on the fluoride issue? And then if they don't get the answer they want there, then they could go to the county board and they could have some of their state representatives weigh in, and they could keep looking for someone who's willing to take up the mantle for them and carry it forth to possibly get what they want to get. And I'm just asking the chair here, are you willing to commit your committee's time and the council's time to listen to hours of testimony from concerned parents on both sides of the issue, possibly concerned teachers on both sides? Are you willing to listen to the school board give you all the information that they have and what they base their answer on? Because that's what we need to have here if you really want us to get involved with this resolution. Because this resolution is about pressuring them to do it. I mean, you got the emails about the city's emergency declaration. I had several emails from parents that actually threatened to have me removed from office if I didn't comply and help them remove the emergency declaration by the city. And I'm like, I'm going to be removed from office potentially because I didn't pressure the school board to change their policies and procedures. I mean, how far down this road do we want to go on every situation where someone doesn't get the answer they want? And I would suggest there's 3 open seats on the school board right now. One is going to be appointed very shortly. And if anyone feels that they're not getting the answers they want from their school board, they could certainly sign up for that, or they could certainly run for office. Just like you and I both know, if our constituents don't like what we're doing for the city of Green Bay, and I'll remind you, what we're supposed to be doing for the city of Green Bay is taking care of garbage, roads, police, fire, parks. We're not supposed to be throwing our opinion around about who does what and how they're doing it. And we can talk about how it's affecting the citizens that we represent, absolutely. But like Alder Gerlach said, where's the data? I mean, a lot of us are going from the gut, the heart, about how we feel. We hear stories. We see some of those in the paper. We hear them from neighbors. We hear them from friends. But I don't feel right. I don't feel we have the right to be sticking our nose into something that's really not our business. I have my opinion about this. Obviously, Alder Burnett has an opinion about this, and he feels so strongly about it that he feels that this council should consider it. But I think we're way overstepping our bounds.
All right, well, Alder Galvin, you know, I've read this draft as well. And 1, 2, 3, 4. The first 7 points that are made are, I consider, factual in terms of percentages and the numbers of schools, the makeup of the demographic, things like that. And I think that's all important to have, at least have that to understand. The last 4 points are open for interpretation. So the last 4 items that were read. So, you know, we've had some tests where we did not open the floor. I've been on council for 9 years, and we've always, you know, when people show up, even whether you or I or anybody else feels that, you know, it's not appropriate per se, we've always opened the floor. And, you know, I know that that can be lengthy at times, but you know what, if we do open it, we'll get heat for it. If we don't open it, we will get heat for it.
Oh, no, and Chair, I'm gonna make one point. If we don't open the floor for something that we have no business being involved with, we will not take any justifiable heat from it. Now, if you want, I can bring forth a resolution on the last election, and I guarantee you, you will be buried under testimony from people that want to give testimony on how they feel this last presidential election went. I can bring forth again next year, fluoride. And I can bring forth many other things that are going to be controversial and have absolutely nothing to do with this city council. And if you want to open the floor on every one of those, you will be buried, spending your time not doing what you were elected to do. And we were not elected to do this. Thank you.
All right.
Chairman, yeah,
yes,
I mean, there are 30 people in this Zoom call, 31 now. Probably a third of them, close to a third, are council members. Perhaps a few are media members. There are probably 10 members of the public looking to speak on this, okay? We are spending more time as a council, you know, talking about why we don't want to hear from them than the time it would actually take to hear from them. You don't have to vote for this. If you don't like it, don't vote for it. Bottom line, adjust it, revise it, whatever it is, but don't not listen to them. That's what these folks feel. The school board is not listening to them.
Well, again, that is not our job to listen to them if they don't think the school board is not listening to them.
Alder Galvin,
it's not our job.
Alder Galvin, perhaps, but I have a disagreement with you. In December 17, 2019, we passed a resolution in the city of Green Bay government in support of state legislation regulating the application and sale of coal tar and other high pay sealant products. The last line was, now therefore be it resolved that the Common Council of the city of Green Bay urges the governor and state legislature to enact legislation banning the sale and application of coal tar and other high PAH sealants within the state of Wisconsin. We can pass resolutions advising the state government, the state legislature, and the governor to do what is in the best interest of the city of Green Bay, but we can't do the same thing for the school board. I mean, that's just ridiculous on the face. We passed a resolution advising the President of the United States and the US Congress on what to do in regards to xenophobia around the COVID crisis. We have done this a number, don't vote for it, honestly. If it raises that much frustration for you, simply don't vote for it. But I want to hear from these people. It does affect the people in this city, and I think we owe it to them to at least hear them out. Literally 10 people, probably, if that. Limit to 2 to 3 minutes, it's like 30 minutes. We're spending more time talking about why this isn't appropriate and why we don't want to do it than we would spend actually listening to the people who pay the taxes, who live in the city, who support the Green Bay School District. So Chairman Stoyer, please just open the floor, make a vote. If I encourage each of the committee.
All right. Before we do that, I'm going to go to the committee. Committee, how do you feel about this?
I'd just like to make one comment, Mark.
Yes, go ahead.
This is an advisory resolution, just like the coal tar, just like many issues that we talk about. So I'm in favor of opening the floor. Why not? Let the public, in other words, this is a frustrating, in other words, just give a little more information. You know, the school board, maybe they need some direction. It's an advisory type resolution. Go for it.
Alder Galvin, do you have an issue?
Yeah, right there. He just said, what did Alder Vanderlee say? He said, he went beyond a resolution. Let's give them guidance and tell them how to do it. I mean, this is where this starts.
It's an advisory
Well,
information.
advisory, you just said we should give them guidance and tell them how to do their job. This is where this is wrong. If you want to tell them how to do their job, call them up, send them a letter, send them an email, go to their meetings, run for office. We should not be telling them how to do their job. That resolution that we sent to the state was about items that were being used in the city of Green Bay, on the city of Green Bay roads that were causing harmful physical effects on our roads, the ones that we maintain, the ones that we build. And so we were asking the state to pass a law that prevented that from being used on our roads, the things, our taxpayers, the things that we represent, the things that is our responsibility. Our responsibility is not to tell the school board how to do their job. Thank you.
All right. Okay.
Mr. Chairman?
Alder LaFave, go ahead.
Barb Dorf would like to, Alder Dorf would like to speak. I let her speak and then I got a suggestion.
All right. Alder Stevens, before you do that, Alder Stevens, was there any comments you wanted to make?
I do have a comment, but I'll let Alder Dorf speak.
Okay, Alder Dorf.
Thank you. I don't think this is about not letting the people speak, Alder Burnett and committee. I think this is about whether or not this issue is appropriate for city council to take up. I believe that most of the people, most of the public people on this call understand clearly that we have no control over the school board or the administration. We do not give them any money. The taxes they get are separate from the taxes that the city gets. We don't support them financially. We don't usually talk about the things that they're talking about. We have our agendas and they have their agendas. I believe that all of us here today would love to see children back in school. Let's see what the words are. Quickly, but safely. And I believe that there is a group right at this very moment called the Green Bay Area School Board, School District School Board. They're meeting right now. I've gone to as many meetings as I possibly am able to go to. I run the CDC indicators and the gating requirements. I know what's going on. I believe that they have a plan in place and that the kids are going to be back in school very soon. I don't believe it is right for the city council, advisory or not, to be passing a resolution that is indeed shameful, that is unsupported by any data. Those four whereases you spoke of, Alder Stoyer, those are unsupported by data. We don't, it's all conjecture. I will not put my name on conjecture, but I will agree that I would love to see the children back in school again, quickly, but safely. Thank you.
All right. Alder Stevens, did you say?
Yeah, Alder LaFave wanted to talk.
You can go first. Alder Stevens, you can go first.
No, go for it because.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, the more I think about this resolution, no, I'm not in support of it. I think, again, I know Alder Burnett is very concerned and he's probably getting a lot of calls, maybe from parents that are pressuring him, but I have not received that here. And I know that the children are suffering. I know that. We all are. Actually, I'm suffering too. You know, some days where I feel so down because I can't just go out and do what I want to do. It's affecting me too. It's affecting all of us. And the only solution is to take our time to do what we're supposed to be doing. Wear our mask. Social distance. Don't go shopping like you normally were, just go to where you have to go, but take precautions. These are things that we need to do for all of us. And then we have the vaccinations. Once we get that, and the teachers can get the vaccinations, then maybe we'll be safer. But there are all these different priorities that we have to follow. These are things that we have to do first. But yeah, no, I'm not in support of this resolution. I was going to say, if everybody had such a concern, write a letter to the school board and just saying that we're here to support you. We hope that schools can open soon as you can, safely. Just a friendly letter. That's all we need. We don't need a resolution.
Right.
Because as you
Okay.
said, this is not our purview. This is not us. We're not the
Okay.
school board.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks, Alder LaFave. Alder Stevens?
Yes, thank you. Jesse, thank you. Thank you to all the alders for your comments. I also have to agree with the majority of the alders. I don't believe this is the right avenue for us to tackle at this time. The school board does have, the school board, that's their own government. Green Bay has their own government. We're two separate bodies. I don't feel right as a person asking the city of Green Bay to meddle with what this school district is currently doing. Last week, the school district came out, said that once staff gets vaccinated, they'll open the schools within weeks. Great. I totally understand that. We're in a pandemic. Look at all of us. We're all hiding behind a monitor. Why?
Yes.
Because our city will not allow us to go back to City Hall. So this is the new norm for all of us. We all are learning. We've been learning. I don't think this resolution is the correct avenue for us to go down. And regarding opening the floor is the right of common council. It is the right of committees if they choose to open the floor. Everybody goes to expect us to open the floor. It's our right to do that. Yes, I am a newer alder, totally understand that. But that is part of our right if we choose to open the floor or not.
Appreciate that, Alder Stevens.
So as of right now, I can't support this.
All right, well, that's fine.
The school board is meeting tonight. We don't know what the discussion is going to be tonight or what their plan is moving forward. We don't know. We won't know until later. So as of right now, I can't support this.
Okay, well, that's the opinion for later. So my thought is this, Alder Burnett, here's what I suggest then. We talked about opening the floor or not opening the floor, and we've been bitten both ways by that. And I understand where the other alders are coming in. I'm still a proponent of hearing the folks. I'm sorry to disagree with that, but I will ask for a vote of whether to open the floor or not. And I will vote yes. Alder Vanderleest?
Yes. I'll open the floor.
Point of order, Chairman, you have to, is that a motion?
Okay, well, let's have a motion. Let's have a motion.
I'd like
Alder
to speak
Vanderleest?
after the motion.
Okay, Alder Vanderleest, you make a motion?
I'll make a motion to open the floor.
Okay, do we have a second? I will second. All in favor, please say aye.
Stoyer, Alder
Yes.
Stoyer, I'd like to make you have a motion on the floor. Can I make a quick comment?
Yes.
I would encourage the committee to hear from the public. They've been involved in this call from the beginning. If I'm way off base, if I'm out of line, this is not something that this committee is desiring to bring up, or majority of the council. I think if you say that I don't understand it, or that we shouldn't do this, please open the floor to hear from people. They will give you a perspective that perhaps you haven't heard to this point. And to open the floor would be whether they believe that the city of Green Bay should adopt the resolution. Okay, whether the city of Green Bay, they are not voicing their support of the actual resolution. They're voting.
We're looking to open the floor right now.
Alder Stevens, Alder LaFave, it does absolutely no harm to hear from these folks who have been sitting in this Zoom meeting for an hour as we debate why we shouldn't hear from them.
I was going to ask before we do that, Attorney Bungard. Attorney. Okay, the question is if we have a motion, a second, and then we vote whether to open the floor or not, if it's a 2-2 vote, I just want to hear what is our purview
Yeah,
after
the
that.
motion, the motion would fail at that point.
Okay, I'm gonna lean on that. And Alder Burnett, that's just what I'm gonna do. We had a motion by Alder Vanderleest. I seconded the motion to open the floor. Do we have all in favor? Please say
I have a
aye.
question. I have a question for the attorney.
Yep.
If we were to open the floor, can we limit it to 2-minute discussion?
Yeah, that's within the purview of the chair. So if the chair wants to, the chair basically controls the discussion. So if
Well-
Alder Steuer wants to do a 2-minute limit, then
I
that
have
would.
a feeling that talk could keep it to 2 minutes.
The reason why I
I'll
asked
agree
is
with
always
that. I'll
normally
agree
been
with
3
that.
minutes.
I'll agree with that.
But if you come to talk to us, please be prepared.
Yeah, 2 minutes is better than 0, okay?
Okay, so with that caveat, then I would say for 2 minutes, I can agree to that. So Alder Vanderleest made a motion, I seconded it. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Okay,
Thank you.
okay. Right, the floor is now open.
Okay.
Alder Celestine Jeffries, Chief of Staff.
Not
Or-
anymore.
Are you clerk? You're clerk now. I
Yes,
was gonna say, when's that official? I guess that's
yes,
official.
it is official. Thank you
All
all.
right, all right. Well, go ahead. You discuss what needs to be done and I'll defer to you.
Thank you, Alder. The committee has limited your comments to 2 minutes. I have a new timer, so I will put that up on the share screen. When your time is expired, if you can't see the screen, I'll let you know, and then your comments will be over. And the best way to do this, if you do have the capacity to raise your hand in Zoom, there's actually an icon that you can activate. If not, what you can do is unmute yourself and start speaking, and then I will give you the timer and we'll go from there. Okay, so I see Zoom user. Zoom user, please unmute yourself and state your name and address for the committee.
Hi, my name is Christine Beckman. I live at 1001 Square Terrace, and that's in Green Bay at 54313. We have 2 minutes here. I just want to tell you, first of all, I support this resolution 100%. I have been in tears watching you guys say you don't want to hear us. The school board won't hear us either. My son, my 8th grader, I asked him to write down his thoughts on why he feels like he needs to go back to school. And just tonight, I found out he's suicidal. These children need this psychologically. They are being given a deficit. They will not be as far as the other children. They will miss out on jobs. They will not do as well in college. They are not doing well now. I am home with them every day because I am in class too, and they're not doing well. I'm a nurse. I know how to take care of mental health needs. I don't know what to do anymore. They need to be in school. They need to have the interaction so that they can pass these psychosocial phases they have to go through to be successful in life. And with the board saying they'll open only when the vaccinations are available, that is no date. That is a hanging carrot in front of us, and it's never going to happen. The state of Wisconsin has totally bumbled this rollout of these vaccinations. And so we don't have a date. We don't know. We do have all the equipment, however. In the last board meeting, there is the equipment to do this safely. So I would respectfully ask all of you to just consider this resolution. It means our children's lives, honestly, and quite verbally right now. Thank you. Thank you for hearing
Thank you
me.
very much. Next, we have Jessica Lax. Ms. Lax, please unmute yourself and state your name and address for the committee.
My name's Jessica Lax. My address is 2234 Mahone Court, zip code 54311, obviously Green Bay. I wrote a letter, so I'm going to read what I wrote. Children are the world's most valuable resource. It is the best hope for our future. That quote was from John F. Kennedy. Think about that quote from JFK. Please tell me what part is not true. To point the finger at others and say, you're wrong, it's your fault. Do you point the finger at yourself and say, I did this wrong, this was my fault? Everyone has skeletons in their closet, and we never want them to come out. If you do not, then you're living quite a boring life. If I say I am an open book, I have nothing to hide, well, we both know that that's a lie. With working at a gas station, I hear from a lot of parents saying the same as I am. Our kids are struggling. As a parent, I feel helpless because all we want to do is protect our children and guide our children in the right direction. Please tell me how I can do this. I can talk to them till I'm blue in the face, but these kids are smarter than we give them credit for. Look at the world. The kids look at the world differently than adults do. As we grow up, we lose something. How we saw the world as a kid is black and white. That's all they understand. They don't understand the gray parts of life. Kids ask questions to understand, to gain knowledge. What the school board is doing is black and white. The numbers are saying this is that, and that's how it's going to be. Well, let me ask you what your name is, because they're more about numbers. My name's Jessica. I wasn't given a number. I was given a name, and the school board is treating us with
Thank you, Ms.
computer.
Lax.
Sorry.
Oh,
Can
that's all
I-
right. No, thank you so much. Thank you so much for your comments.
Can I just?
Unfortunately, your 2 minutes have expired. Thank
Okay,
you so much.
Appreciate it.
Next, we have Jean Holes. Ms. Holes, please unmute yourself and state your name and address for the council, or sorry, for the committee.
Hi, my name is Jean Holtz. I live at 3625 Point Lane in Green Bay, Wisconsin, 54311. I just wanted to say that, you know, my viewpoint on this whole thing is that teachers are essential workers. And my husband has a company, and his company is considered an essential business. And we've all been working through this. The people who are working as essential workers have been doing their jobs and working all through this pandemic. Kids need to be in school. They're immature. They don't do well in this virtual world. And I mean, I have a senior, and I've pretty much written off this senior year for her, but I'm actually here because I'm literally concerned about all the other kids. When you look at the statistics that I've been hearing about 15,000 kids either having a failing grade or failing out of 21,000 kids that we have in our district. And the thing that kills me is that all these other schools around us have figured out how to do this, and they're doing it. And Green Bay, who should be a leader in the community and should be making more progressive decisions, we're not doing it. We're failing. All these, they're suffering, they're hurting. I don't get it. Honestly, I feel like we're failing. We're failing the kids. We're failing our teachers. There's so many teachers that want to go back as well. I just want to say that I literally can't wrap my brain around this. Kids should be in school. It's as simple as that. They're not adults like us, and they don't manage in this environment well, and it's hurting them educationally, mentally, physically, everything. I've seen it. So that's pretty much all I wanted to say.
Thank you, Ms. Holtz. We do not have anyone else who has raised his or her or their hands. If you would like to speak, please, I see Barbara Conniff. Ms. Conniff, please unmute yourself and state your name and address for the committee.
Hello, Barbara Conniff, 2651 Seneca Court, Green Bay, Wisconsin, 54313. You've raised the point, some of you, that this is outside of what you are elected to do, what I as a voter have elected you to do. I agree. Ordinarily, I wouldn't be here, but these are extraordinary times. I elected a school board to make decisions that deliver education to my child and all the children here in Green Bay. The school board on this issue, the majority of members, have taken the position that they are leaving the lane of education and going broader into the lane of public health, making statements like, if other businesses would close, schools would open. If
Yep.
hospitality would close, schools would open. So we believe that there has been a lot of good work done by the school district. At the last meeting I attended, departments reported on an array of readiness for the facilities, looking into instructional innovations. There is a lot of good work done behind the scenes. That good work deserves to come out now. It deserves to come out with an implementation date, because this group of people has worked hard to figure out a way to provide safe education in the school building as well as in home for those who want the choice. And here is choice. We ask you to support the voice of choice. It is not being heard so far at the many meetings that many of us have attended and written letters. And we are now asking for you to join us by supporting the good work that the school district is doing, set a deadline, and bring the families back to school who believe that is the best interest of their child to receive education. We will handle what we think about appropriate response to public health. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Coniff. Is there anyone else who would like to speak? Please unmute yourself and state your, I think Zoom user, you've already spoken.
I would like to speak.
Celestine
Hello.
Melissa Stitz is raising her hand.
Yeah.
Melissa.
I didn't do my Zoom. I just raised my physical hand.
Yes, I'm sorry, I muted myself. So yes, Ms. Stitz, please unmute yourself and state your name and address for the committee.
Sure. My name is Melissa Stitz. My address is 3487 Bay Highlands Drive in Green Bay, Wisconsin.
Go ahead.
And I appreciate the opportunity to speak to you all. I think this is certainly, as we've heard, as constituents within your districts, this is definitely a difficult topic for everybody. But when we look at the why and why you, I think that's a big part of what we have to continue to have conversation around. And although what falls into the definition of your parameter and rule of responsibility, I think we also have to take consideration that Green Bay's ecosystem runs together simultaneously. So these kids that are in our Green Bay School District will become adults of the Green Bay School District. And it's important that we continue to provide resources to them. And although I've heard much comment that they have a plan, they do not have a plan. Their plan is to return 3 weeks after vaccination, date unknown. Within the state, we know that there's no declared deadline of when that will be. It may be the end of March, it might be April. And I think the piece that I want to point to, Governor Evers just recently sent out an email, and I thought I sent this to all of you, and I'll resend it, January 21st. While every family has struggled during this pandemic, extended school closures have been particularly devastating for children of color, children living in poverty, children with special needs, and children learning from English as a second language. And I think that was one comment from an alderperson is, how do we know this information? Well, here we go. It's coming from Governor Evers, and I believe he probably has done his research. This is something that is known. The Department of Public Instruction has dollars available, but yet our school board continues to not use those dollars. They've spent it on Chromebooks and masks, and we have kids with a mental health crisis with millions of dollars sitting there and no plan. We need your support, and I urge you to vote for the resolution.
Thank you, Ms. Stitz.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Is there someone else who would like to speak? Thank you, Betty. Please unmute yourself and state your name and address for the committee.
Hello, my name is Betty Kosick and I live at 2346 Browning Road, Green Bay. I'm speaking tonight for Green Bay Advocates for Public Education. Since 2015, Green Bay Advocates has been supporting public education in our neighborhood schools. We are parents, grandparents, retired teachers who believe that schools are the center of our community. And we support students, teachers, and parents in the public school system. We believe that in local control and trust the GBAPS school board to make careful and calculated decisions about our students and teachers that are based on scientific evidence and safety. As elected officials of the Green Bay School District, the board, together with the superintendent, will make decisions that are best for students and teachers. We are speaking on this agenda item without any advantage of seeing the proposal and before we wrote this, that was written by Alder Jesse Burnett. Should the Green Bay City Council decide to propose a resolution to support Green Bay schools, we are all for it, as long as it does not undermine the decisions made by our local school board and does not include the approval or the support of private school vouchers. In fact, we came before the Policy and Protection Committee a couple of years ago with a resolution to support public schools, along with Mark Stoyer. Should the City Council decide to proceed with this resolution, we will come forward with our own proposal for one. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Kosick. Is there anyone else who would like to speak to the committee? Please unmute yourself and state your name and address for the committee. Anyone else? Going once? Going twice? Thank you, Chairman Stoyer. The floor is back to you.
All right, thank you, Celestine. Well, that was 6 citizens. That was maybe 15 minutes. That was not too bad. We've had other meetings that have gone much, much longer. Again,
that Eric had. I'm trying to keep on top of this.
Somebody needs to be muted there, please.
Thank you, Alder. I will do that.
Okay, thank you. Well, again, I just wanted to state that, I think Alder Burnett has a deep passion for his city, and he does care for the citizens, and he felt that this is very important. I did see the draft, and like I mentioned before, the first 7 items are quite factual, and I think the research and data is very important for all decisions that we make. The last 4 are, I believe, are open to interpretation a little bit. I will reach out to the committee for a minute or other alders, and I think we've already heard Alder Dorfer, Alder Gerlach, Alder Galvin, and Alder Scannell are against this. So
You have to close the floor. Point of order. Is the floor closed?
I will ask for that.
Can we keep it open in case we have questions?
See the issue here?
I do.
All right. Okay. All right. Well, with that being said, are there any questions that?
Hold on. Let's close the floor if we have to. We'll reopen.
All right. Make that motion, Alder Stevens. Alder Stevens, you made the motion.
Yeah.
Okay.
A second.
Second by LaFave. All in favor, please. All opposed. Thank you, Alder Dorf, for that. All right. Committee, what's your feeling on this? I have my points too, but let's ask the committee first, and if other alders want to chime in, that's fine. Committee?
I also have issues the same as you on the last 4 points of this resolution. But I know Betty talked about possibly, would like to get her opinion if she thinks something should be different or better. So.
Well, then we need to open the floor again. Let's just hear from the committee, and if we have any specific questions, we can ask those
Actually,
at that time.
My comment would be for everybody. Would you like to see something different in this resolution?
Mr. Chairman.
Alder LaFave.
Actually, I think most of it could be nullified. The school board knows the 7 points. They know that. And they know the issues with these children. We don't have to tell them these things. They know it. It's not like, we think that we're smarter than they are, that they're dumb. They know what's happening. They know these children are, and they're going to have to, once they can open up the schools and go back, they know they're going to have a big problem, and they're going to have to work on, maybe the schools have to go, maybe they have to go through summer. Maybe they have to be year-long schools for a while to get these children caught up. That might be what has to happen, but that's their decision. They are the ones that we elect them to make these decisions, and a lot of them have some background on children. They were educators, or else they, I know one, the Boys and Girls Club, he knows children. He knows some of the things that they're dealing with, and they have help from other people. The Wisconsin Public Education, I'm sure they go to them for help on these issues. So I don't think this resolution, to me, I don't think most of it would even need it. Like I said, I think what we need, we can say a friendly letter saying, yes, we've been getting parents calling us and they're concerned, and we do see the issues, that there's problems, but that we cannot make the decisions, but we stand behind you in your decisions that you're making. We know that you're professionals. We know you have concern. Maybe something, I don't know, on that order. That's all we need. We don't need this resolution. Thank you.
All right. Hold on, Alder Burnett. Alder Vanderleest, do you have anything to add to that?
I'll support the resolution. I think it's a good resolution to put forward. The public is very concerned about it. And, we weigh in on it, and it just might be just a very good to have our city
right.
council weigh in on this. And I support the resolution.
Okay,
I have a question for the attorney.
go ahead.
So to piggyback off of what Alder LaFave said, could we draft a letter to the school board? Or does it have to go through this resolution?
Certainly, council members can either individually or collectively write the letter, but it wouldn't be, that's not necessarily part of this agenda item.
Right.
I'm not sure if I'm following correctly, but any action on this resolution isn't really impacting on sending a letter. It would then be coming, if the letter is to be coming from council as a whole, then I think that would need to be presented and voted on. But individual members of council can certainly can submit letters on their own as well.
Is that a communication, Alder Attorney Bungert, that would have to be made by
Sure,
Alder?
that could be a communication, right? Mhm.
Okay. All right.
Thank you.
Alder Burnett.
Yeah, thank you, Chairman. By the way, thank you for running the meeting the way that you have, in the manner that you have. It's been quite good in my opinion, and I appreciate that. Regarding the resolution, I stand by it personally. I don't see anything in here that is inflammatory or incorrect. Based off data that I have done, perhaps I did not include the last 4 points data to confirm those points, but there's plenty out there to, in fact, prove those to be true points. So if the committee is at the point where maybe they feel the last 4 lines are not proper, I would, in order to get it, I would certainly recommend a motion to remove the last 4 points, because the resolution still carries weight, and to be officially approved by a city government is good. The first points, let's be real here. We have the Green Bay School District has students with 14.8% with disabilities, 64.5% economically disadvantaged, and 21.1% English learners. These are stats that are given to us by the Green Bay School Board. These are not irrefutable or refutable. They're correct. And then look further. We have a I guess you could say, minority majority school district here, right? There are a lot of people who need the Green Bay Public Schools to be open in person. With disabilities, 64.5% economically disadvantaged, 21.1% that are in need of English services that you just can't do the right way through Zoom. I mean, these are rather significant things, and we all know that this is going to set students back. So maybe you don't like some of those, final points. And although I think there's absolutely nothing wrong with that, to allay some of your concerns, I'd be fine with striking those 4. It's the last thing that really carries weight. Be it resolved that the city of Green Bay is in support of Green Bay Area Public School District students, parents, teachers, and employees, and urges the Green Bay Area Public School District Board and administration to transition quickly but safely toward an in-person option for all students. How they do that, that's up to them. I didn't put gating criteria. I didn't talk about vaccinations. I didn't basically micromanage how they make that work. It's just us knowing our community and saying, please find a way to allow in-person schooling for our Green Bay children. Keep the virtual option for those who it works for. So it works for plenty. I've heard those comments as well. So Chairman Stoyer, it's your committee. You can recommend a motion however you see fit. But I would encourage you to make a motion to approve it, minus those last points.
Okay, thank you, Alder Burnett. Alder Dorf.
Thank you. First of all, I do need to object to the implication that we didn't want to listen to the public. That was not the point. We have all the time that we didn't want to take the time to listen. Not the point at all. The point was by allowing the public to speak, they might believe that we have power, influence, control over the school board, and we don't. We don't. It broke my heart to hear what some of the parents said there, but we can't control the school board. So that was my objection, if any. In the end, I didn't care if I listened to them or not. Now, going back to what Alder Burnett just said, even the last part, even saying that the city of Green Bay, I've read other resolutions, it just says the city council of, it doesn't say that the whole city of Green Bay. I don't think we can say that, can we, in that last portion of the resolution?
I would, Attorney Bunger, do you have any thoughts on that? I mean, Alder Burnett brought it forward, so those are his words.
Right.
So what is your opinion on that?
The draft language is that it's essentially up to the discretion of the alders and the council as far as what terminology they want. I mean, logically, it can either be technically it's the city council that is creating the resolution on behalf of the city of Green Bay. So that I think that is why it's been worded in the past.
Okay, Alder Burnett, are you comfortable with that?
That final part I actually took from another resolution that we passed in the beginning of COVID, like almost word for word, but then I changed it. Green Bay Common Council would include the mayor. Green Bay City Council would include just the 12 of us. So keep in mind that if this
you can understand where the problem might come in is that.
Change it to Common Council then, that's fine. I just mirrored what language I found in another draft, but the Common Council implies that the mayor at some point needs to make a vote if it's a 6-6 tie.
Well, regardless, I mean, it will come forward and it'll be voted on, yes or no. So I'd be more comfortable.
I have one final point, Chair. The final point I have is that using the demographic makeup of the student body, unfortunately, Alderman Burnett, if you'd been listening to the last school board meeting, there was a 3-to-1 ratio of our students of color, families of our students of color that are choosing virtual over our white families. So you really can't use that as an argument because those families 3-to-1 are choosing virtual in the surveys that the city has or that the school district has put out. Thank you.
Alder Scannell.
Thank you, Alder Stoyer. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you.
Yeah, I have a problem with some of these statistics and that I don't know how they relate to the resolution. And the implication is that, I mean, are we saying that because we're a minority majority, the school board is using that as a reason to not open the schools? It's you know, that's the implication. It's the whereases set up the resolution. So what's in the whereases should be supportive of the resolution. For most of these, they're just facts. I don't see how they have anything to do with the resolution. And the implication is, and this is why I have a problem with the whole thing, that the school board isn't doing isn't pursuing this goal, isn't pursuing this policy. That's the implication of us going forward with this. And I think that's wrong. They are. There are differences in the community over this issue, which is not surprising. It's a terrible difficult issue, terrible difficult times here, and there's lots of needs and lots of ways of looking at this and trying to deal with it. So operationally, I'm not surprised there's all these differences and pain and suffering out there. And it's very unfortunate. But again, it's not,
Okay.
The city is not a forum for every complaint.
Okay.
You know, we get complaints, all kinds of complaints, but if it's not our business, we say, well, you need to contact the school board. Here's a school board member. You need to contact the county. Here's a county contact. I mean, we are always, I mean, I've done this, I don't know how many times, I'm sure Alder Stoyer, Burnett, everyone has done that. You know, people come to us with complaints, but that doesn't mean it's city business and we take it on as city business. That's the point I was trying to make.
Okay.
Yes, I'm concerned. Yes, I appreciate, but we should not become a forum for every complaint in the city. That's not our job. And I really worry about putting that added job responsibility on alders in the future, because who's going to want it? You know, there's people I've talked to about running for city, and they say, who wants that job? What a headache. We should really get a firm idea of what our responsibilities are and stick to that.
Well, I can mention one thing, Alder Scannell, that since I've been in office and a few of us have been on council for a number of terms, there's a, you know, locally, more things have been put on us, whether it's this issue or other issues. Many things have been put on us, and it seems like they're almost looking for local politicians or public servants to make decisions. It kind of is going from the bottom up somewhat, because it's been difficult from the top down on numerous issues. So I have no problem with Alder Burnett bringing this forward. Like I did mention, you know, the last 4 points were opinion, as far as I'm concerned, much more so. And like I said, you could have 100 people look at that and you might have 60% say yes, 40% say no. You know, I'm interested in seeing what the other school districts around Green Bay have done. And I don't know, maybe Betty Casa could answer that. I don't know. Everybody could answer differently, but there are other school districts surrounding Green Bay that have been open for a while. And, you know, I'd like to know some of the facts for that. In fact, Alder Dorf mentioned that there's a meeting tonight of the school board. Can anybody tell me exactly what's on their agenda for tonight? Are they discussing any of this at all? Alder Dorf, could you fill me in?
Absolutely. Yes, I have their agenda pulled up, in fact. They are currently on open forum. So they're right now listening to parents. They've been listening to parents since about 6, so it's been a little over an hour. All of this is absolutely on their agenda for tonight. Let's see, I printed it. Now I've lost my visual of the Zoom here. So they're looking again at, I know one of the things they're looking at the CDC indicators and thresholds for risk of introduction. They're looking at the plan. They're looking at vaccinations. They have quite a long agenda tonight. So all of these things that we're talking about, they're looking at. I'm really not sure why we would want to have to discuss what other school districts in the area are doing. They're very much different than our school districts. So, but
I realize it's apples and oranges somewhat as far as sizes and that, but
It
you
is.
know,
And,
it was a point, of, just a
you know,
point.
yeah. So in any case, yeah, they
Okay,
have quite a long agenda, and they are dealing with all of these things tonight.
okay.
And hopefully they'll have a plan to open schools by the end of the evening. Maybe the
Well-
vaccination plan, I don't know, but they're
Well,
working on it tonight.
One thing I will give Alder Burnett credit for on this is that he brought it forward. Citizens are answering. Maybe it'll help the school district in some decision making. Not sure, but I'm just saying that it's out there. So I have no huge problem with that. I know that some of you have a problem with us overstepping our bounds. We do represent, like I said, each one of us represents 8,700 constituents, and a lot of them have concerns and needs right now. So I think it's important to listen. I don't want to turn anybody off that way. So with that being said,
May I please make one final observation?
yes, Alder Gerlach, I was going to call on you. I know your hand is up.
Okay.
Go ahead, Alder Gerlach.
Thank you. And I will be very brief. I just
No,
want to
that's
make an
fine.
observation because I've listened to all of this, the alders and the citizens speaking, and there's one thing that I really didn't hear mentioned, and that is coronavirus. People don't want to talk about the fact that when we bring people together indoors into a crowded setting for a long period of time, there's a good chance we will kill them. It breaks my heart. Early, my grandchildren are doing their schooling right now. I had an opportunity recently to have 2 of them visit me for a month. A lot of you know that. We all quarantined, we all tested, and 2 grandchildren came from out of state and stayed for a month with me. As a retired teacher, I could have cried to see how horribly they performed their online schooling, and they're bright, straight A kids. But they're not going to die of coronavirus by going to school. Let's keep that in mind. There's a pandemic raging and it's getting worse, not better. Thank you for letting me say that.
Okay, thank you, Alder Gerlach. Alder Galvin.
Chair, if this motion passes and is going to go to the city council, I'd like you to instruct staff to start collecting the necessary data from the surrounding school districts so that we can make a informed decision. So you'll be needing to get information from the health department on the morbidity rate in this area, the infection rate, probably averaged out over weeks or months at a time. We'll also need information from the surrounding school districts, private and public, how many times they've had to shut down classes and put their students and teachers into quarantine because students that were infected brought COVID into the environment there. I'd like to have data on exactly how the students in Green Bay are doing compared to, say, 2019, 2018, maybe averaged out over the 5 years before, so we can see if there is really a precipitable drop in their scholastic grades. If you could also get a hold of the mental health information on how students are faring mentally with their depression compared to now, compared to maybe a 5-year average before that. I guess I'd also like some other statistical information so we can make an informed decision if we're going to back this resolution or not. And in all honesty, what we're doing is telling, if we back this, we're telling the school board they're wrong and that they need to change the way they're doing things and open up the schools sooner to satisfy a group of parents and students and teachers that want the schools opened up. School board is deemed safe for everyone involved. Thank you.
So, okay, Alder Galvin, I was just going to ask, is this only if the resolution passes, or would you like this information anyhow?
No, only if the resolution passes, because
Okay.
again, I feel this is none of our business. I have my own beliefs, which I'm not going to share with anyone because it doesn't matter what I believe. If a school board member goes, oh God, Alder Galvin thinks this, I'm going to do this, and what the hell are they doing on the school board? I mean, why would what I think change their mind on anything at all, unless I've got some secret information from, medical science or Pfizer or one of these other people. All we're saying is we think the school board is doing this incorrectly and they need to open sooner if we pass this resolution. That's exactly what we're
Okay.
saying.
All right, thank
Take all
you.
the fluff out of it. That's exactly what we're saying. The school board's wrong. We know better and they should open sooner. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Alder Galvin. Alder Burnett, I was gonna ask you a
Alder Stewart.
question. Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead,
Alder
Attorney
Sawyer,
Bunker.
yes, before we jump to Alder Burnett, I just wanted to address Alder Galvin's point. If the committee does want to have staff look into additional data and facts and figures in support of the resolution, or to suss out the resolution a little bit more, recommendation would be at that point to just refer the item to staff to work on it further, as I don't believe staff will have adequate time to be able to pull all that information before council.
Okay, thank you, Attorney Bungert. Actually, Alder Burnett, that's kind of what I wanted to ask. Is this something, granted, it's, you know, you're looking at this in a timely fashion, and I understand that. But I think some good points were brought up by the alders on this, you know, of overstepping our bounds and not having all the data and such. Is this something that you could wait on? I would prefer to see what happens at the school board meeting tonight and just see what comes out of that. You know, what, you know, kind of, it's kind of giving them a chance to come forward and let us know in the city, you know, what stances they're taking and how they're moving about doing their job. So I'd feel more comfortable, you know, listening to see what the school board comes up with. And if it takes a couple of days to decipher that, so be it. We won't be ready in council before council if we decide to vote on this tonight to get all the information anyhow. So would you be willing to hold off till we get that information?
No, not at all. We need a vote tonight. I mean, it's a non-binding resolution. There are 4 of you on the committee. Either vote it up or vote it down. You vote it up, explain to your constituents. You vote down, explain to your constituents. We have children, one second. We have children all throughout this community, in like 3 counties of Green Bay, in person, amongst friends, with social workers, with teachers, with nurses, with lunch workers. The social fabric of so many communities around the city of Green Bay is meshing well. Children have not been dying as predicted by some. There are face mask requirements. There are ways that school districts have been able to do it. The City of Green Bay School District, or the Green Bay School District, has not been able to do it. We're just delaying what is what these parents are most frustrated about. Listen to these students crying, worn out, exasperated. Just in Las Vegas, one of the biggest school districts, they had just reported like 13 or more students have killed themselves because of lack of in-person instruction. Alder Story, I'm not directing my anger at you, but I think this is what the council needs to decide. Either you're for it or you're against it. I'll pull it at the council either way. I stand with the parents and students in this community. I'm not intimidated by the teachers union or all the other special interest groups that seem hell-bent on keeping schools closed, okay? I'm just kind of worn out by it all. This conversation has been just really ridiculous, quite frankly.
I have a question.
Go ahead, Alder Stevens.
So how many citizens in the city of Green Bay want to keep the school district closed, and how many want opened?
They can have a virtual option, Craig. I'm not calling for a removal of a virtual option. All I'm saying is in-person instruction should be an option at this point.
Yes, but how many of the citizens want that open?
I don't understand your question.
So is it 10,000 students want to go back to school and 10,000 don't? Is it 15,000 students that want to go back to school? 5,000 don't, vice versa? We don't know that information.
I think the numbers are out there and we just need to listen to the
parents. Do you know those
parents.
numbers?
I know that there are 21,000 students in the Green Bay School District, and I know what I know from participating in the meetings and listening to the parents. I know that a great number of Green Bay school children are failing right now.
But how many are failing?
I can get that graphic for you, Craig.
Okay, you get the graphic. So you're asking us to do something when we don't have the backing of this resolution. You know, 50% of the city may say, no, please keep it closed. Yes, I'm greatly appreciative for the 6 people that came in. They all would like the school to be open. I appreciate their comments. I really do. You know, we're in this pandemic. we're all learning. We're still learning. We truly are. But to throw a resolution out there, we need some backing from it. And I agree with Alder Galvin that we need more information. So we can
Mr.
make a
Chairman?
correct decision to move forward.
Hello, who wants to talk?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, go ahead, Alder LaFave.
I don't know if these parents who spoke or those who are pushing for this resolution or whatever is going on, have you really been listening to the news lately? I'm going to put this out there. There's a new variant out there. And actually, they're finding this thing is more deadly. I mean, this is getting scary, really scary, what's going on out there. Come on. And you're talking about the children. What about the teachers? They're not children. A lot of these are older teachers. And, you know, I think Alder Burnett was going to bring up about Chicago, how they're opening up. Well, guess what happened? The teachers are not going to go back. They said they're not going to until they have the vaccination. People are scared. This is becoming scary. Wait a minute. This is becoming, hey, I'm speaking. This is becoming scarier and scarier. Come on. This is real. And you know what? And they are finding cases. It's affecting children more. Children are getting it now, and children are dying also. So come on, let's be realistic. Let's have some real statistics. Come on, let's listen. Let's listen to the news. Let's listen to, and they're not saying, they're not lying. Come on, they're not lying about it. They're telling us what's going on. And this is becoming much worse because we're not being responsible.
There are 15,000
responsible.
There are 15,000 failing grades in the Green Bay School District.
I know, and it's going to happen. I'm sorry, it's going to happen because we're in a pandemic. Come on, let's be realistic. We're in a pandemic.
15,000 students are failing in the green, at 15,000 failing grades of 21,000 students. You tell me that's not a problem?
And we have adults who are failing too.
Okay,
Committing
Alder
suicide.
LaFave,
Come on, it's affecting everybody.
Alder LaFave, your points are taken. Thank you. Alder Burnett, you just mentioned about 15,000 failing. I didn't see anything on the resolution about that. Like I said, there's some open-ended issues here that, you know, it's some belief, some factual. It's a little difficult to wrap our arms around it, or heads, or whatever you want to say. Alder Dorf, and one more time.
I just want to mention that something I forgot about the school board agenda tonight is that they're voting on a mask policy for the schools. In their preparations to get the kids back to schools, they need to put this policy in place. So they are taking yet another step that they need to take to get the kids back. And I didn't mention that before when you asked me about the agenda.
Well, that's good, because I think there are frustrated people out there who feel that maybe, you know, they're looking specifically at their children and some of the problems that are coming up. It might be more emotional than anything else, but you know, it's close to their heart and that. So it's good that we need numbers and that. And I have no doubt that the school we're having meetings, but like I said, we're listening to citizens that feel like they're not being listened to. That's all. Alder Scannell, one more time. Promise.
Jumping quick, 2 points. One is, as you look, I mean, I've been looking at this all year long, and school districts all over the country, not just, I mean, and I looked at bigger ones because they're the ones that are going to be more like us. They've done everything, and there's been all kinds of problems. There's a district just read the other day in Atlanta that they opened up wide open, been all along, and now they've shut down because they're short on staff. I mean, Alder Burnett, you said you know this issue because you've met with these families and that. Have you spoken to the superintendent? Have you gotten the other side? Have you had discussions with why and what's going on? I think you're only hearing one side and you're jumping the gun here and making conclusions and decisions where people who are paid to do this and elected to do this they've got everything. And I just don't feel we're out of bounds. It's just not right. I mean, the other resolutions were to hire entities that were directly affecting our city business, or to hire entities that had to do with a social issue. And if there was a policy issue here, I could see this. This would make sense to me. There's not a policy issue here. It's an operational one, and it's just obnoxious, I think. We wouldn't appreciate some other governing body telling us how to operate our city, that they would know better than us. It's not right.
Alder Burnett, go ahead.
Well, the state government does that all the time, Alder Scannell. They put balances and restrictions on our home rule capabilities, and we fight like heck against federal government does things to the city of Green Bay, and we push back. Like, to think that somehow the Green Bay School Board is untouchable, that we cannot use our positions at Alders to do what's in the best interest of the city residents, including the most vulnerable. I mean, come on. I am
Okay, Alder Scannell.
I have not, but I think the superintendent has not met with a lot of parents as well. So let's be real here.
All right, we're losing control here, or I'm losing control. I don't know if I ever had it.
My apologies.
Hold on, please, for all of us. I know Barb kind of had her hand raised. I wanted to open the floor, maybe and just have, she wanted to make one comment. I need a motion to open the floor.
Motion to open the floor.
By Stevens, do we have a second?
Second.
Second by LaFave, all in favor, please say, or by Vanderleest, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, all opposed? All right, Barb, you wanted to make a comment? You had your hand raised, and I just wanted you to get your point in.
Yes, and thank you. The question was asked by one of the alders, do we watch the news? Yes, we do. In fact, I am not only a parent, I also work for a company that provides therapy to children with autism. And we monitor safety data continuously. And we are operating in 5 states, including Wisconsin, including Green Bay. When the pandemic first emerged in March as a key threat, we closed down our facilities and suspended our services and made the difficult decision to furlough workers while we developed safety policies and procedures rapidly. We then trained our therapists, and we went back into therapy, providing our services with strict protocols, continuing to monitor data and incidents in late April and early May. Most of our families did want to remain with us, as did most of our employees. Some were not comfortable, and that's okay. They had choice. But one of the things that is really notable about our experience since last May is the COVID-19 absences, because people either met criteria on the screening tools, same as Green Bay is using, or had a COVID-19 positive test. These were community spread issues and not advanced by our practice of therapy. So I would suggest that the school board and the school district should give credit to the people in the district who've done the good work, the district employees, and use the safety measures they have provided that are CDC approved for COVID-19 and open. The issue here is the speed at which opening occurs. Mask policies are long overdue before tonight and could have been worked on prior. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Barb. Okay, I think that was it.
Motion to close the floor.
Motion by Vanderleest. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by LaFave. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye, all opposed? That passes unanimously. Okay, I think we've heard enough. Alder Burnett said he would be willing to take the last 4 whereases. That would be 8, 9, 10, and 11 points off of this. I don't know if that would alter it somewhat. The be it resolved that the city of Green Bay, I would feel more comfortable if it said the city council, so we could vote up or down on that, because we are representatives of the city, but there are other, the administration and other things as well. So that would be a proposal that I would put forward, to just include the first 7, and then be it resolved that the city council of Green Bay is in.
Common council. Alder Steuer.
Common council, that'd be,
Common council.
common council will be fine. Thank you. So I'll throw that out to the committee if that's something you care to do. If that would be,
I'll support that, Mark.
okay. Do we have a second?
Support that resolution.
Do we have a second? I'll second it for discussion. So we could take a vote on that. All in favor of that, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed?
Nay.
No.
Okay, that fails 2-2.
Hold on, Alder Steuer, hold on one second. So that was a motion to amend,
To
and that is
amend,
Alder Stevens, no. To amend
Yeah.
as you put forth. That's a no from Alder Stevens, a yes from Alder Steuer, and a no from Alder LaFave.
correct,
And then that fails.
right.
Okay.
So, well, we have to look at the entire draft then, I guess. And we need to vote on that as well. So I would, all in favor of the draft resolution as proposed by Alder Burnett?
You have to make a motion. Alder Steuer, you need to make a motion if you have another
Okay.
motion to
Yeah.
approve.
All right,
Mhm.
let's hear a motion. Alder
I'll make that motion, Mark.
Vanderleest.
I
I
made
will
that
second
motion.
I will second for discussion. Okay, so all in favor of that motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
No.
Nay.
Okay, that also fails.
Alder Steuer,
Yes.
I think I know how the votes are going to line up here on out. If you recommend you forward to the council with no recommendation, but at least explain to those assembled here that this would then
Okay,
be
yes.
discussed, just so they know it's not a dead issue necessarily.
Right, okay, thank you for that. Yeah, I was gonna mention that. All right, the motion fails 2-2. You needed a majority on that. It will be referred to city council on,
I'd like to amend that.
you would, huh? Well, we voted on that. Alder, or Attorney Bunger, do you have a point on that?
I'm not sure. So at this point, we've had a motion to amend. That motion was voted on and failed. And we had a motion to approve. That motion was voted on and failed. So at this point, I'm not sure what other,
Well.
I'm not
Alder
sure what you
Steve-
mean by amending.
Or
Alder
a motion to
Stevens,
hold. I'd like to make a motion to hold.
what does that entail? Is there any?
I'd like to motion to hold this resolution and direct staff to look into facts and determine what's going to happen tonight at the school board meeting.
Alder Burnett, would you
I
be
would
up for that?
ask-
Go ahead. Attorney Bunger.
Yes, with that, because of a timeline issue, as committee and council members are aware, there are a number of high priority projects that staff is currently working on. So we would request specific direction from the committee as to where this lies in priority with respect to particularly the ethics ordinance and the sign ordinance.
Alder Burnett.
Well, I would, I mean, I don't know if anyone seconded that motion first, maybe if someone wanted to second it or
Well-
not. Well, I'm against it. Holding is kind of a clever way of killing it, you know, holding
No,
until.
I don't think it is. I think we need more information.
Order, you cannot
All
discuss
right,
it.
Alder Scannell.
You can't discuss it until it's been seconded. You don't
Okay,
have
no
an item.
second
Yes.
then.
Point of order.
Hold on. Okay, duly noted. Alder Stevens, please restate your motion.
I ask that we hold this and refer this to staff for additional clarification on what's happening tonight with the school board meeting, along with getting additional facts. As of what Elder Galvin has stated earlier.
Attorney Bungert, is that enough for you, or do you need more specifics?
We would need more specifics. And again, we would need more direction as to timeline.
I would be open to timelines.
But, you know,
As
my
to specifically as to whether it's, essentially, we just don't want to run into a problem as we've been given direction by this committee and by finance committee to be looking into making the ethics ordinance a first priority. And this is going to take some time and looking up this data. This isn't something that's readily available to us. So
Well,
I'm just trying to
Stevens,
anticipate that.
Alder Stevens, with that being said, we had two versions of this draft that was a 2-2 vote. They both died for that. Alder Burnett already mentioned that he will be pulling this at council. So I don't know what else we can do on that. I mean, it just, unless somebody can fill me in. We voted on it.
Mr. Chairman,
We voted on this already, so.
Mr.
Alder
Chairman,
LaFave.
I don't think we should do, I'm sorry, Alder Stevens. I think that we're putting too much on staff right now. They can't get this done. So I think this is just, it's dead here, but it can be brought up at city council, unfortunately. And it'll be talked about again.
Well, I think that's the route we need to go. So is there a
But
second?
my
Is there a second to Alder Stevens? I don't hear a second.
Okay, on that note, I think there's more work that needs to be done here. And it's going to be pulled at council. Hopefully there's more information when it comes to council. But as of right now, I feel there's not enough information. You know, we're looking at some of what an alder wrote. You know, we need to look at, yeah, 6 people talked tonight. It was great. You know, they're passionate about what's happening. You know, I understand all that, but as a common council as a whole, we need more information. And of course, that will be pulled in the next council.
Alder Burnett, one more time.
Yeah, that's it. Thank you. You've been very gracious with allowing me to speak. Yeah, I'm fine with that. The resolution that I drafted will be obviously more publicly noticed so people can make their own opinion. For those who say that I need to have data and information and graphics in order to support my claims, I would challenge them by saying, you need to have your data to challenge, to confirm or affirm your opinion as well. I don't want this all on me. So the information is out there. Each of us have to do our own research. I feel completely justified bringing this forward. I see absolutely no reason with it. And for those that say we need to have more data and graphics and information, perhaps that's true. I have it. And I would encourage you all to do your research as well. Thank you.
Duly noted. Thank you, Alder Burnett. All right, Attorney Bungert, we voted on that, correct? We can move forward?
Correct.
Okay. So we voted on that. All right. So
Okay.
you let me know when you're ready.
All right. Yep. We are on to item number 5.
Okay, item number 5. For an update, discussion, and possible action on the status of all open records requests received by the city from November 1st to until the date of the Protection and Policy Committee meeting. Before you state that, I wanted to mention that City Council will be on February 2nd, Tuesday, 6 p.m. So this will be part of, that'll be on the agenda. So I just wanted to state that for the public and everybody else. Okay, go ahead, Attorney Bungert.
Yeah, so,
that already?
Yep,
Okay.
yep. So generally, I can provide that we have had, since October, we've had 71 records requests filed, and we currently have 27 pending. Of those 27, 17 have just been received last week. Just to kind of give some parameters as to the discussion tonight, just looking to get a little bit more information as to what I believe this was from Alder Burnett's communication as to what Alder Burnett is kind of seeking. At this point, I do want to share that the processing of open records requests is entirely administrative. It's an administrative function within the purview of the city attorney's office, as it requires compliance with specific laws as well as high-level complex legal review, research, and opinion. Open records request isn't within the authority or oversight of the committee. or of council. Council sets public policy. Policy actually has been adopted by council designating the department heads as records custodians. The records custodians under open records law are the ones with the duty and the obligation to fulfill open records requests as they are filed by citizens. And accordingly, this communication isn't really so much a item to be discussed under the purview of committee, but it's more so just a request of staff. So if Alder Burnett is looking for more updates, I believe we have given him an update limited to specifically elections related records requests. So if Alder Burnett separately has some additional information he wishes, staff can certainly provide that. But there really isn't any action that the committee can be making as far as directing staff with respect to processing of open records requests.
Okay, thank you, Attorney. Alderman Burnett.
Yeah,
Alder
thank
Burnett.
you. Thank you, Attorney Bungart. 71 open records requests since October seems to me to be a very high number. Is that unusual? Or
Yes, no, correct. The number of requests has steadily been rising. I think that with just with the fact that we've put in certain policies and access points with online forms that have been available through our website, and then also with the fact that we've actually implemented more protocols and processes to track the number of records requests. So we are more aware of how many are coming through the door, I think, than in years past. But this year, particularly 2020, with the amount of various important issues and elections and the pandemic happening, we have seen quite a significant increase in records requests.
27.
Than at least I have seen in my tenure.
27 pending. What are the general nature of those 27?
Various, again, I've had a number of elections related are mundane as far as just asking for different permit and inspection issues with respect to properties. The gambit is kind of wide as far as topics go.
Of the 27 pending, how many are election related?
I know that at least 14 are.
So 14 open record requests in regards to the election. Is this spring and November and August, or a specific election?
I think it touches all of them. I don't think so much August, but definitely spring and fall have been more interesting, I guess, or more of the focus of records requests filed with respect to elections.
Are the specific election requests, is that all public record? Like, we can divulge if I as a personal alderman, I shouldn't say personal, but I as an individual alderman am aware of certain open records requests that have not been fulfilled. Is that information I could share publicly?
Yes.
So
records requests themselves are public records, so those are able to be divulged.
So there is one specific open records request dated December 2nd from Gannett. Am I able just to ask a few questions about that? Obviously, understanding there are certain things you can't divulge.
You can certainly ask that, but again, I'm urging the committee that I guess I kind of want to see what the goal is and what Alder Burnett is trying to accomplish with this. As far as, this isn't really an appropriate thing for discussion for committee, as committee isn't taking any action on this. If this is just informational stuff that the alder wants to get, I can absolutely answer any questions you'd like and send any information you would like.
That's fine. Okay. So again, stop me if I'm saying something that I'm not able to say or something that would put the city in any legal trouble.
Right. It has nothing to do with liability or legal trouble. It's just not an appropriate item for discussion for committee, as committee doesn't have any authority over this. this is more appropriate just as a request from staff to provide information.
Okay, so on a particular record request, if you could provide information, is that
Yep.
okay? Okay, so on December
Alder
2nd,
Burnett, before you do that, this is something that you could handle, privately with Attorney Bungert.
Yeah.
Because like I said, the committee cannot, we cannot.
you don't have to act on, it, but I think that, my motion was to have a discussion on open records requests. It's certainly, I'm not asking you to take an action on it if you can't take an action on it, Stoyer, but
Right.
I think it's, for me, it's just public. Attorney Bungert just said that there's absolutely nothing preventing the public from having this information. I'm just sharing it for public.
So you have one
Pursuant
item.
pursuant to an open records request, yes. In that
Right.
context, Alder, that's what I was saying, is that if this isn't information with respect to what records requests have been filed and what is pending, that is subject to release pursuant to an open records request. So if the Alder would like to submit an open records request to get that information, we can certainly process it and provide you that information.
You provided that information mostly to me in a private email.
Correct.
Is that right? So
Yes,
I don't
as a
have to-
professional, correct. As a professional courtesy, but I did mention in my email that if you were looking, we gave you a summary of what we had available quickly as a courtesy to you as an Alder. But if you wanted to actually get copies, because I think you were looking at details as far as what the records requests were looking for and who they came from and what the date was and all that, I said, if that, I had indicated in my
Right,
response
yeah.
to you that if you were looking for that, then we would, if you wanted to proceed that way, then we could. However, we would have to process that as a records request. Because
Yeah.
that is
I
the
mean,
practice we followed before.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I understand that. And you see, the reason I don't want to, submit an open records request myself is that it looks rather odd to people, to the public, that Alderman Jesse Burnett's looking for an open records on this, that, and the other. What I'm just trying to say is there are 27 open records requests that are pending, 71 received since October, 17 in the last week. I think that the public has some right to know the nature of the open records requests. And specifically,
And the public can submit a records request to get that information, I guess is what I'm trying to say. It's completely within it. That what I'm trying to get across is that the records requests are an administrative function, which city staff is handling.
okay.
So you need an open records request to get open records. At least the list of it. It
To
sounds
get
like an
information, right, to get a list or to get copies of records requests that have been filed, that would be an open records request. I believe we received a request from the media, from the Press Gazette recently about receiving or getting a compilation or a list or a report of records requests filed, I believe either from October or November, and that's a pending request that's going to be released.
Alder Burnett, we can't, if we can't vote on this or add anything at all. I would almost prefer if you could work with the attorney's office on this, if you would.
So Attorney Bungart, if I, for the sake of my own knowledge and public disclosure for those interested, I could submit an open records request, although I don't want to do that, indicating all 27 records received that are pending, and I could share that publicly, is what you're saying.
If you so wish, yes.
Why? Okay.
I'll leave that to you. I'll leave that to you then.
This just seems a little off, that's all. Thank you.
Okay, is there anything else, any other discussion? Otherwise, I would have a motion to receive and place on file.
Motion to receive and place on file.
By Stevens, do we have a second by LaFave? All in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye. All opposed, that passes. I'll wait for you, Attorney
Second,
Bungert.
just marking the vote, thank you. And item number 6.
Discussion with possible action on a request of City Council President Jesse Burnett to seek an outside attorney-client privileged legal opinion for discernment on options to balance the incredibly important need for public disclosure and transparency with the need to protect the city against potential liability. Staff or attorney, could you?
Yes. Yep. So on this item, just grabbing my notes. As indicated to the committee in my email that I sent late last week, The city attorney's office, along with Director Falls, have already provided Alder Burnett with an opinion on this matter. You were shared what that opinion is. We can discuss generally what the opinion is, but not the context of the matter that we rendered the opinion on specifically. But if the committee truly wishes to seek a fourth opinion on the matter, this item really then needs to be referred to finance to determine a funding source as to hire that outside counsel.
Yeah, I would encourage the committee to make that motion.
Okay, committee chime in if you would. Anybody? What are your thoughts? Yeah, I'll get you Alder Galvin in a second. Alder Vanderleest, Alder Lefebvre, or Alder Stevens, do you have any comments on this initially?
Not yet.
Okay.
Not yet.
All right, Alder Galvin.
I have a hard time understanding how the committee can authorize money to be spent without knowing specifically what it's being spent for. I mean, the last item was to try and be clear and transparent as he tries to reveal ongoing open records request. And I'm not sure what he's trying to reveal by having that discussed publicly, but now he wants you to authorize spending money, but it doesn't say what for. I'm not sure how the committee could even vote on that.
I received an attorney-client privilege legal opinion that I cannot divulge publicly.
Well,
So
and again, that I mean, how many attorneys do you want to go to before you get the answer you want? You've got three attorneys.
I'm not looking for an answer I want, Alder Galvin. I'm looking for an opinion outside of the city law office. The truth is the truth, and whatever people make their interpretation of that truth, that's what I'm after. I'm not looking.
What you're saying is you're not satisfied with the legal opinion of three attorneys who represent the citizens of Green Bay. And so you want to hire another outside attorney to get an opinion about something you're not willing to share publicly. And if you're not willing to share it publicly, I'm mystified. You're transparent, but you're not transparent.
Attorney Bunker, can you explain why I cannot discuss what was discussed in the email? I mean, I'm not hiding anything here. I'm trying to be transparent, but I'm told I can't publicly, explain what.
Right. So, sure, I understand what you're saying. I'm trying to, so I can speak to generally that the Alder is looking for an opinion as to what constitute a current attorney-client privilege communication in the context of personnel matters and how to balance that with divulging personnel matters in juxtaposition to attorney-client privilege and protecting the city as a whole from liability exposure with divulging these personnel matters or matters relating to personnel issues. The city attorney's office provided Alder Burnett with an opinion as to what the city attorney's opinion, legal opinion is with respect to what is attorney-client privilege communication, what can and cannot be discussed in public, and what can and cannot be released. And Alder Burnett wishes to seek another opinion with respect to that question specifically. We can't discuss the context, the specific context as to what our analysis was, but that is the general
Attorney Bunker,
opinion that Alder Burnett is requesting.
Attorney Bunker, can you affirm this, that, I did everything that you would want a council member to do without personally investigating situations that I have been made aware of? I mean, do you think up until this point I've done anything wrong in my search for information? That you knowingly.
Right. I'm not aware of you violating any privilege issues or violating any confidentiality requirements. I guess that is the most that I can say. I can't really pass. That's not really my role to pass judgment one way or the other. But I'm not aware of any ethical or attorney-client confidentiality breaches.
That's why I'm bringing this forward, because there's a balance between public transparency and protecting the city. And from time to time, we all are faced with some sort of ethical dilemma that we need to discern. And I'm trying not to say anything to be inflammatory or create suspicion. That's why I'm going through the proper channels here. A motion to refer this to Finance Committee could, help me understand how much legal expenses it would cost to get a very short legal opinion, no more than an hour likely. I want to be able to disclose information that I know to the public, but also protect the city. And I'm not trying to create a stir, trying to create scandal. I'm seriously searching my conscience, and something just seems a little off to me. That's all.
Yeah.
And I still have the floor here. So I still have the floor here, Chair.
All right,
Okay.
Alder Galvin, and then
So
Alder
if I
Dorf,
could-
then Alder
If I could
Dorf.
finish here, this long dissertation
Yes, go ahead.
proclaiming his innocence here. If this is related to our last closed session that we had at council, and the information that was shared with everyone there, it was explained the basis of what was going on. And in my opinion, there was no basis for anything to be done with this, but yet you sought 3 legal opinions, and yet you don't feel you got the correct answer. You're out seeking another one. You claim you're not trying to say there's anything rotten in Denmark here, but obviously you think there's still something wrong after getting 3 legal opinions. And you think that the legal opinions of the city staff are invalid or don't support what you think is truly going on. So you do think something's going on. You want to get a legal opinion. You want to pursue this. You are creating mystery and subterfuge here with the way you're going about this. And I'm really not sure why you think there's something going on here when it was explained to everybody at council meeting what was going on and that an investigation had taken place and what the results were. It's just that it hadn't been finalized. And I would imagine if you got that investigative report right now, you would say you don't believe it anyway, and so you still want another legal opinion.
Oh, come on, Alder.
Yeah.
Come on.
Alder
that's-
Galvin,
That's ridiculous.
Come on, let's
Alder Galvin.
decorum, please.
Yeah, I have a question.
Alder Shire,
Hold on. Alder Dorf is next.
Thank
Sure,
you.
but mine
Wait,
just,
hold on,
mine,
Alder Galvin. Alder Galvin, are you finished for now?
Yes, I'm.
Okay, you can chime in again. Alder Dorf, go ahead.
Thank you. I think you guys should just refer this to finance, and if we can have closed session language put in on the item. This belongs in finance. You guys don't need to be talking about this, honestly. It should never have come to P&P. It should be right from the get-go referred to finance. So that's what I'm just asking as chair of
Okay.
finance. Please refer to us.
Yeah.
And Attorney Bunger, can there be closed session language attached to it?
I will review and
Right.
if it is appropriate, we will add it to the agenda.
Thank you.
Thank you, Alder Dorf, for that. Committee, do you have any other
I'll make a
comments?
motion.
Go ahead, you make a motion, Alder LaFave.
I'll make a motion that we refer this to finance. And then Attorney Bunger, you said that we don't have to put in the closed session in our motion, just to refer it.
Right, if it is on the agenda, and I will review post if we can add that closed session language.
Okay, that's good, thank you. We have a second?
Second.
Second by Vanderleest. Any other discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Not opposed? That passes unanimously. Thank you for all your inputs. I'll wait for you.
1 second, yep, mm-hmm.
Well, we finally are getting Lieutenant Mahoney.
Yes,
Consideration with
we are
possible.
on to, correct, yes,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Consideration with possible action on the liquor violation report for January 25th, 2021. Lieutenant Mahoney, good to see you.
Good to see you too. Happy to report there were no violations during this time, so this item is very short and brief.
Okay, I did have one question though.
Yes.
You did include in the agenda the number from 2019 and the ones from 2020. There were 13 total in 2020. There were 14 total violations in 2019.
Yes.
In your estimation or over time, is this a fairly accurate number in terms of, I won't even say accurate. What is your feeling on that? That it doesn't seem like there's a tremendous amount, but there still are violations. So just what is your feeling on that over time? Have we improved a little bit, or do you feel that we're getting the word out to the owners and that?
I think we are getting the word out to the owners. I think the stipulation agreements that we have with the owners or people seeking to get liquor licenses are very effective, where they know what's expected of them and to work cooperatively with the police department. And then when there are violations, I don't want to say it's the nature of the beast. I do realize in the bar business stuff does happen, but most of the bars have been very proactive with us. When there are issues, we'll bring them in, we talk to them, we explain what the issues are, and they're very good at working on them. And I know the committee over the past years, some of the ones that have been issues, yes, that's when we seek non-renewal or revocation of their license because it's just constant police presence there.
Well, I just noticed that there were a couple of establishments that have 3 or 4 violations, and I don't know if I want to mention those places, but I can't remember, can you just divulge that, have we taken away the licenses maybe of 2 of those places, or have we worked it out well enough with them?
I can tell you right now, some of the places that have multiple violations, our community police officers have cited for violation of the stipulation agreement. And if it doesn't improve, yes, it could be something where we would either seek revocation, or I know we're coming into the season that in terms of time and staff resources, that we would, if it continues, we would just seek non-renewal. Because we're coming up within a couple months with the time frame. If we go to revocation, it would actually push it past the time if we just sought to non-renew them, like we did to the one establishment a couple years ago.
Okay. Well, I trust you folks on that, and I appreciate your efforts on that. And I have a list of those places, so we'll just keep that under surveillance, so to speak. And thank you again.
You're welcome.
So we need a motion to receive and place on file.
Receive and place on file.
By Vanderleest, and a second by Stevens. Is that fine, Alder Stevens?
Yes.
Okay, seconded by Stevens. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye, all opposed. That passes unanimously. Do I see the word that I'm been looking for? Adjournment? Is that true? Do we have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion.
Our next meeting.
I will.
Our next meeting will be, oh boy, what do we got? February 8th.
I believe it's, yes.
February 8th, our next meeting. Okay. Yes, Alder Stevens.
Before I say second, I just want to tell everybody thank you for joining tonight.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you for your hospitality, Mr. Stoyer.
Oh, yeah.
And if anybody wants to email us, feel free to email us regarding the school board.
We love getting information,
Emails.
research, data. We love it. You know that, right?
Well, you know,
And we do sleep. We do sleep once in a while.
We try.
Yeah, we do. Well, thank you for all that.
So I will
All right,
second.
so what's the motion? Do we adjourn?
Motion to
motion.
We
adjourn.
need a vote.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Okay, by Vanderleest, seconded by LaFave. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Thanks,
Aye
Mark.
and goodbye.
Hey, Mark,
Aye and
okay.
goodbye.